the van back, just like that, and now we're ready for some more adventures. So stay tuned until next time. Boom, you thought.
That was the second time we thought we were leaving.
The van had other plans, apparently, and for 2 weeks, it remained dead and limping. So we spent some time in Philadelphia.
With my gram. And what? Hung out.
Yeah, we hung out and explored some museums.
Yep.
The area. Ate some good food.
And then finally got the van back on September 9th. Or was it the 10th?
The 8th. It was the 8th, and we stayed at your
wasn't.
house, and then we left on the 9th.
Oh, okay.
Our footage from the first week lacks a lot of context because everything was so new to us, and we were kind of focusing on seeing some family and friends and, you know, feeling a little anxious. And
we felt a little discouraged, too, just because the van kept breaking down, and we couldn't leave, and we kept telling people we were going to leave, and then we didn't. So we kind of were like, okay, let's just kind of, like, chill out and just drive and hope for the best.
Yeah, we ended up telling no one that we left. Like, I just showed up at Brian and Studo's house in Geneseo and texted them that we were there because we didn't want to jinx it, and you know, we were just super cautious, so we didn't really film too much. But anyways, we made it to Geneseo, which was good.
We were in high spirits short after because this like random lady approached us, and we ended up like having this photo shoot the next day.
Yeah, we're gonna be in like a fall edition of some upstate New York tourism magazine if you're into reading those. But no, we got some cool pictures and we'll show them here. I think, and it was a morale booster for sure.
Stayed there for 2 nights, right?
Yeah, we had some parties.
And then we went to Niagara Falls, which I've never been to. Lived in New York my whole life and never been to Niagara Falls, but
it was cool. And
yeah,
the water was falling. I mean, I've been there before, and it's really nice there. It's really beautiful, and the only part is that everything costs so much money. It's $10 to park. Tasha's mad.
So mad right now. Why did you pay for this?
It's $20
This should be free.
To walk down like 20 flights of stairs to get really wet from the Niagara Falls. But at least they make you pay at the top. That's what. They could have you pay at the bottom.
Well, we can't do.
But it was mad expensive.
Yeah, this was like our first taste of realizing, like, even though we're like living cheaply, obviously, like no rent, we don't have a house, like we're just in a van, like you still have to pay for everything, and it's like upsetting.
Just to walk down the stairs was $19, and all it did was you just got really wet. I mean, I've done it before when I was younger and didn't pay for it myself, but yeah, definitely not really worth $19 just to get really wet. To us, at least, you know, if you got $19 laying around, maybe, but that's like a gallon of gas now, so.
But our first big stop after that was Badlands in South Dakota, Badlands National Park. And we were like driving so much, like literally just driving for like 5 hours a day trying to get there. And we ended up like having a couple problems on the way there. First, like the stove kind of didn't work anymore.
Yeah, one time I went to make a cute video about making coffee in the van, and I went to turn on the stove and it didn't. And the stove in the van is like built in kind of, and it was in a really good spot, and it became really inconvenient a little bit that it didn't work. So we went to Walmart and we got a new hose, or no,
Coleman
we got a new stove.
Propane stove.
Yeah, we went to Walmart and got a new propane stove, and then plugged it in, and it still didn't work. Or no, we got a new propane tank first, because we had a brand new propane tank.
Which it was fine, obviously. It was like the hose that was the problem. The last thing we checked was the problem. But it was like exciting to like figure it out.
It was super satisfying, and we could finally actually cook food again, which has been really important in the meantime. It's like what, 7 weeks after this has happened, or like 7 weeks after we left. So
yeah, we're
spoiler, you can keep watching the videos if you want to see how it went when we got here. But yeah, so anyways, everything went really well after we got the stove fixed. Like, we were stopping at Planet Fitness to shower. We were stopping at, you know, spots to sleep.
Yeah, we got some cute spots to sleep. Like, our first night was on Lake Erie. It was a little park, and it was really cute.
It was super pretty, too. I mean, it had the sunset and, like, all the skies turning different colors and everything.
And we were excited, like, with the food we were making, which on my Instagram, Natasha Strock, I'm gonna post some cute reels of like food that we've made.
Yeah,
So
it's
look out
been
for that.
real healthy food too. Like I think the first month or so of us living in the van, I ate meat twice, which is like a world record for me. And when I did eat meat, though, I really indulged in it. But it's less time, and I felt really good. So if you've ever thought about not eating meat or going vegetarian for your health, I don't know if it made me healthier, but I felt better, and so that was really good.
Next up, went to the Indiana sand dunes.
Bet you didn't know there was a national park
Yeah,
in
literally did not
Indiana
know
where
that
it's just
existed.
sand dunes like the desert.
I kind of liked it though. It was small. We had a good time.
It was pretty. I mean, the it was like Michigan is what it was on, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a little unfortunate because like to the right and left you just see these like factories and like smoke coming out, and the earth is like getting destroyed, and
Yeah. And I'm sure the dunes like were stretched for like way longer and because of
yeah,
industrialization and humans like but Diana the Dunes hero she she was the one who like was like we should preserve this way back when
yeah. It's this woman who used to be like homeless and kind of just like
living on the sand
yeah,
dunes like
and it was funny because the national park like had a bunch of signs like promoting her and like hailing her as like a hero and everything, which she obviously is. Like she was doing it right.
yeah but if you do that now it's like
Yeah, but if you were to do that now, they'd like kick you out
yeah
and fine you.
you're
And
like worthless
yeah, and
not a human
they tell you to
like
question how you can have an impact or something like that. I don't know, but not by doing it the way she did. You need to find some other way.
we drove a long time after that. Basically, the first week we're just like trying to get out to South Dakota. So like we drive as much as we could and just find a spot using like iOverlander to find like free camping. So we made it to Iowa and like we
It's
were just in
pretty
this.
easy. No problems at all. We haven't still paid to stay anywhere, and it's been like 7 weeks. So no rent for 7 weeks isn't bad.
It's been a little stressful here and there, but
Here and there,
we can
yeah.
talk about that at some point. We just like stayed in the forest in Iowa. Surprisingly, there was forest. Like the whole time driving, it was just like grass and like corn and
Dead fields.
like so depressing. We were like, we want to get out of
Yeah,
here.
it must
But
have been like naturally, natively forest as well. But you know how we have to like destroy everything for profit, and it was still kind of cool though to see all the open space and the amount of corn. It's
yeah,
it's you can't deny that it's impressive as humans that we've done that, but it's crazy because it's just all corn. It's like something out of Interstellar for real.
but we did make it to South Dakota like the next day, and then we were at like Planet Fitness. We had worked out, showered, and we had this whole
Feeling great.
yeah, we had this whole day plan. We were excited, and then I come out to the van. Jack's already out there, and I'm like walking like in my head. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, and he's like, and I'm like, I didn't notice what happened, and then I looked down and look, like passenger side tire was flat.
On the ground, completely
Yeah.
on the ground. So we called AAA. The guy came, and I'm like, yo, just put that spare on and we'll be good. And he's like, all right, all right. And he took the spare out and he's like, ooh, spare's no good. It's a rookie move on my part for not having the van properly equipped, but it's not going to happen again. And we went to the tire store down the street. Wish I could remember the name because I'd give them a really review. And they got me. What they do? They fixed the.
Didn't it cost $23?
It did cost $23, and they fixed this. It was just fixing the stem and the tire and reinflating it, but they reinflated the front two tires like way below what was like recommended or something like that. Well, anyways, after we got the
Okay.
tire fixed, we drove like, oh my god, it poured that night. It poured and poured and poured on the highway, and we were driving like this little rinky dinky van onto like
Oh yeah.
I-90, and then there's like construction on I-90, and it was pouring, and then it had you cross over lanes, and it was just one lane going back and forth. So we're like going like 65 miles an hour into semi trailers coming the other way going 65. It's like windy. There's like fucking 50 cars behind us because we're going so slow. And we ended up making it to the Missouri River, camping down by the river in
That
a
was
van.
really nice. We got there kind of late because of the flat tire, but like it was a nice spot.
Yeah,
thought.
it was
We got there when it was dark, so we couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it was a really nice spot too. There was like a lightning storm going on in the distance, and in the morning though is when we figured out that it was super nice.
But we left pretty early because Jack was like, I just want to like drive and get this over with, get to the Badlands.
Yeah, I don't like driving too much in a day. Like Tasha's good at driving the van, but I kind of have like a personal mission of driving it from the East Coast to the West Coast. So I just kind of wanted to do that on my own a little bit.
That's when the bad flat tire happened. We started driving on 990 again.
It exploded.
Yeah, like it just made a loud noise, and I was like, "That's definitely the tire." And then like, well, it made a noise first, and then I was like, "That was probably the tire." And then we were like, kept driving, and then it exploded and like pulled over right near like an exit. Took forever to get like a tow guy.
We called AAA when there was no response, obviously, because that's kind of how AAA does you sometimes. And then ended up calling Johnny Towing and Pierre. They were great, and they towed us to a camp spot down by the river again in Pierre called Griffin Park, and put us up on some blocks with our tires so we'd be level. And
that place we had a little bit of stress of like not paying because like we think you were supposed to pay because it was like actual campgrounds, like there was hookups and everything for like electrical stuff.
Yeah, technically you were supposed to pay, but it's like the campsite was here and then there was a parking lot here, and like the parking lot you could stay in 24/7 without paying, and the campsite you had to pay and for like the hookups or some shit. But we were fine. We didn't use the hookups or nothing like that, and there was like a little community bathroom nearby. But
yeah, with showers and everything. Like it was nice.
We learned kind of what it means to have plans and how sometimes it can be really useful or sometimes really useless, because a lot of times the universe has something else planned for you, and it's hard to just go with the flow like that sometimes. But it's, it makes for a great story. The tire, I mean, you would have thought a cop shot it. Like it was absolute carnage. Like never seen a tire do that before. And like
thinking back on it though, like it's good to know that it could have happened like way worse. Like we could have been like completely stranded or like not near a town. Like
no service.
It took us like 40 minutes to get to that town, like the tow guy when he like drove us there, but like that was the closest thing. Other than that, like we were so far from everything.
We were many times when I've gotten into situations like with the van, it's frustrating, but it's important to look at it as like it's like part of the journey, which is very much true, and it always ends up being a good story, and B, that it can usually be much worse.
To be like in a park that we could hang out in for a couple days was nice.
Exactly. Like we didn't. Our last resort, we were calling tire shops to see where we should get towed to, and our last resort was going to be just living in the tire shop parking lot for like 3 days, and that wouldn't have been the worst, but wouldn't have been too great either. And so I'm glad that we were able to not do that. But yeah, that's kind of our adventure up until that point. Hopefully the next set of time has a little more context in the footage, but if not, you're going to be hearing from us again in storytelling mode. And
thanks for watching, guys.
That's about it. We got a lot of stories, tips, tricks, life discussions to come. We got some good things to share, so
keep up with us.
Send our channel to your mom and dad and grandma. Tell them to click the subscribe button, and your friends too. Like listen, if I know you personally and we get like rich off of this, like you will get money from it, so like take this link and send it in your group chat to get like one more person to watch it or some shit. Don't tell them I got goofy hair, just tell them I got funny jokes and good times with Tash here. So
thanks everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.